And Alan. Okay, start on your backs, feet the width of the mat. Let the knees come together. Yeah, and just lay down. Yeah. So you could do Supta Baddha Konasana. That's been tugging on my lower back personally. So that's soles of the feet together, knees flap open. Or a little bit more easygoing for the low spine is the feet the width of the mat and the knees come together. It's like creating a little mountain on your back. Yeah. And you could shut your eyes for a second or just look at the ceiling and find a spot that you want to focus on. And just feel for a moment. Just feel your body, feel your lower back kind of spread. I like the palms up, the shoulder blades kind of wrapped to the floor. Take a nice juicy breath in through the nose. Exhale, just let it go. Good. Blink the eyes open, take the feet so they're hips width distance like a little bridge. Yeah. Keep the left leg where it is and hug your right knee in. So give your right knee a little squeeze. Squeeze it in nice and tight. And think basic, simple movements this morning. Flex your right foot. Let the shoulders drop down the back. Just concentrate on a very gentle movement of your body and a nice steady breath. Let the left leg slide forward if that's comfortable for you. If you find this movement better with your leg bent, do that. Flex your left foot strong so your calf makes a solid connection to the floor. Continue the spread of your lower back. Now, lift yourself up. Keep the hands bound around that lower knee kind of shin area. Relax the shoulders a lot and look towards the ceiling. Hug it in a little tighter and then release and slide your arms forward. Float the left calf. So now the left leg is lifted and the right leg is bent pretty dramatically towards the navel. Scoop up more. Yes. So it's an isometric movement. Hold and breathe. I like to flex the feet because I feel like it just creates a little bit more drive. Keep the entire body lifted. Nothing's dropping. Extend your right leg straight up. Now the leg may have a bend to it if your hamstrings are tight, so don't force it. If the neck feels sensitive, you can always take your hands behind your head for a little bit of support. Keep scooping out the belly and scissor your inner thighs together. Lift 3 inches higher. There you go. Lower the left leg, grab behind the meaty part of your right thigh, clasp the hands, straighten your arms, and let your right leg with a flexed foot just fall into your hand. That gives you a nice stretch. Yeah. And just breathe. Hug the right knee back in, give it another squeeze, and then take it over to the left for just a supine twist. Just a little release of that low back, that lumbar. You look a little right, and then roll up to center. Start with your right leg bent, guys. Yeah, bend the right leg and hug your left knee in. Squeeze it in nice and tight. I like to do it this way because sometimes it just feels better to keep that right leg bent. Squeeze it really tight. Then slide your right leg forward if and when that feels good to you. Flex the right foot super strong. So make a strong connection to the floor and your calf. Keep squeezing the left leg in. Keep the hands bound around the front knee shin area and start to lift the back of the shoulders up. So you're making a connection with your stomach to your thigh. As you draw in, look towards the sky. Then reach your arms forward. So when you let go, not too much space like releases between your stomach and your thigh. Then float your right leg. Spread the lower back. Now lift the shoulder blades, ground as you lift and scoop up. Look towards the ceiling. Extend the left leg any amount that works for you. Pin straight may not be in the cards. Scissor the inner thighs. Look towards the ceiling. Don't torque your neck. Use your hands behind your head if you need a little support, like a little pillow. Lift higher. Lower the right leg. Grab behind the left thigh. Clasp hands. Let your arms straighten and just let your leg fall into your hands. Keep your right calf stretched. So rather than yanking the leg towards you, let the leg kind of fall away into the hands. Give you a little bit different stretch. Hug the left knee and give it one more squeeze. And take it to the right for a little supine twist. Come up to center, hug the knees in and rock and roll. Give yourself some momentum, cross the ankles, step to a downward facing dog. Yeah. So first down dog, take up a lot of space on your mat. Yeah. Hands go nice and wide. Maybe start with a little bend or a deep bend to your knees. Spread the toes wide. Melt your heels, the center of the heels down. And breathe your hips way up off your shoulders this morning so you can really get into feel and plug down. Ujjayi breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Roll forward plank. So from dog to plank, I always have to walk it out. Stack the body. Lead a little with your chest. You know you can always modify with your knees down. This is a great option here. Stack yourself up. Fire up. Feel the thumb, the index finger, the baby finger kind of press down. Draw the waist in and up. And fix your eyes on something that's not moving out in front of you. Hold. Bring your weight forward onto your tippy toes, everybody. So more weight forward. Connect. Wrapping up the triceps, plugging down of the hands, anchoring of the legs. Arms stay nice and straight, legs may need to bend, hips up and back, down dog. Breathe your right leg up and back to a three-legged down dog from your inner thigh. Look forward with your eyes, and just this morning, use the momentum of that right leg to step your foot all the way forward and through. Yeah. Drop your back knee at an angle, be on your fingertips for a second. And then draw the arms up towards the sky. So when you come up like this, if lower back feels sensitive, I know mine did this morning, just pull out of it a little. So you kind of like get out of that right thigh and just pull back. If you're okay in your lower back, you go a little heavier. But hip points lift. Eyes just fix a little up towards the ceiling and just feel this basic movement. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Integrate your back left leg so it looks like this. You're in a low lunge. Your arms are super engaged. Step to a plank in one piece. When you get to plank in one piece, look forward a little with your eyes. Lower halfway to either a supported push-up or a regular push-up, or just a little micro bend of your elbows. Re-straighten your arms to plank position. Hips up and back in one piece, downward facing dog. Breathe your left leg up and back. Try not to fling the leg, just lift it into space from your inner thigh. Feel your outer arms wrap in, feel your right hip grip in, and then look forward and let the momentum this morning, carry that leg forward and through. Once you get it through, drop your back knee at an angle, pause for a second. I like keeping the toes curled, but that doesn't work for everybody. Grip the left hip in and then rise on your breath to a supported lunge. As you come up, play with the shape of the pose. Some days it's a little bit more forward, some days you have to pull out of it. Hip points lead the pose. They're forward and up, arms energized. And just be still for a moment. Let your breath kind of guide you through. And sometimes you feel a lot of resistance early in the practice. Like, I'm not into being quiet. I'm not into holding. These are all things that are going to come up as we move. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Activate your back leg. You have to trust the process. Step to a plank. Once you arrive in plank, you may be choosing to drop your knees for a push-up or go for the full deal, chaturanga push-up. Good. Re-straighten your arms using muscular strength plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe your right leg up and back from your inner thigh. Look forward, glide your right foot forward and through. Be on your fingertips, pause. Yes, just be here for a second. Feel your right hip grip in. Reach your arms back for a moment, and then rise crescent lunge. Yes. Cactus the arms for me. Yeah, perfect. So the elbows kind of fan forward a little when you cactus the arms, and there's a squeezing of your shoulder blades together. Good. Energetically reach your arms up towards the sky, and as you do that, straighten your right leg on track about 3/4 of the way. So it's going to go like this. You're going to bend your right leg. You're going to cactus the arms. The back leg stays solid and straight. You're going to straighten the front leg and reach your arms up. Go like that again. Cactus the arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Straighten the right leg. Hug the hips. Reach up. 2 more times. Cactus the arms. Straighten. 1 more time. You're going to cactus the arms. Straighten, pause for a sec. Good, just keep your arms straight up, bend your right leg in half, regular crescent lunge, hands to frame your front foot, step to a plank. When you arrive at plank, add your version of a push-up but no back bend. Re-straighten your arms to plank position, hips up and back, down dog. Lift your left leg up from your inner thigh, flex the foot. Look forward, let the momentum step the foot forward and through, all the way forward, beyond the fingertips, squeeze the back leg strong, sweep your arms back, hover for a moment. Outer hips grip in. Rise, high lunge, crescent lunge. Good, energetically reaching up, hip points moving forward. So bend your elbows in half and cactus for a moment, elbows kind of tip forward a little, squeezing of the shoulders. Straighten the arms and straighten your left leg on track about 3/4 of the way. You never want to go pin straight. Rebend and cactus. Elbows kind of fan forward. Straighten and engage. Good. Like this a bunch of times. Cactus and bend. Good. Straighten and engage. Cactus, bend the left leg in half. Re-straighten the arms and the left leg. 1 more time. Cactus, squeeze. Re-straighten your arms, pause for a beat, just feel your outer hips. Now keep that shape and just bend into your front left thigh. Great work, hands to frame your front foot, step to a plank. Halfway to your push-up, this time you go find a back bend that works. I'm gonna go baby cobra right here. Press with the hands, the tops of the feet, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Good, look to the top of the mat, step or float your feet there this morning. Long spine, weight is forward. Good, exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. Not gonna spend too much time on senes, but we'll take a few. Arms stretch straight up towards the sky, go big. Dive over bent knees, always bend your legs as you fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare yourself. You can step. If you feel really ambitious, you can float to a push-up chaturanga, if not lower. Up dog or cobra. I don't know how your body feels, but find something that works or go right back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, full breath out. Arms stay nice and straight. You want to feel the anchor of your hands. Bring your eyes forward, step or float your feet to get there. Long spine when you arrive, hands can also rest to your shins, that's perfect. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. Arms slide straight up towards the sky, go big right here. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your weight carry you forward. Long spine sets you up, step or float through your vinyasa. Adding or subtracting push-ups, adding or subtracting back bends, going right to a downward facing dog is where we meet. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Get there light. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold again. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor and spread. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. 1 more. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Go big here. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, set it up. It's a step to plank, or it's a float back to a push-up. Halfway down when you are ready, up dog or cobra, press strong through your hands and the tops of the feet, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good, roll forward to plank position and take your right knee and hug it in. So your arms are straight up and down, there's a scooping out of your belly. It's kind of how we were in our back just a few moments ago. Arms are really grounding you though. Really look forward with your eyes. Look at that front skinny edge of the mat and then land your right foot forward and through. Integrate your legs and rise again, high lunge. So as you come up this time, high lunge, it should feel pretty simple because you were already here. Outer right hip grips in, back leg nice and strong. Yeah. Focus on little things like squeezing the muscles around the back left quadricep and kneecap and glute muscle. Drop your arms by your side body, tip forward with your torso. This is a great place to use blocks if you need them, have them at the front. Float off, warrior three. So some days your blocks are very handy. Some days your balance isn't so great. Squeeze your right hip in. Anywhere you want to put your arms. Prayer alongside the body, such as I'm demonstrating. Out to the side like a capital letter T. Or forward, which is going to be the most challenging. Don't open your hips, flex the left toes strong. Lift the eyes of the shoulders up, so it's like a little up dog. So focus intently on your standing right leg. I want you to bend it a little bit. There you go. So bend it a little bit. Turn the back left toes a little on an angle and then land warrior one. So take a really slow transition to get there. Get grounded, doesn't have to be perfect. Rise warrior one. Spin your left ribs forward. Anchor through your feet and your legs. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Find plank hold. Find a push-up. Maybe that's where you want to work. Re-straighten your arms to plank though. Meet me in a plank. Hug your left knee in and up. Squeeze the belly. Arms are straight up and down. Press down to get a little more leverage. Look forward. Step the left foot forward and through. Get a big enough, long enough step. Feel your left hip hug in, your back leg zip up. And then rise when you feel ready and grounded, high lunge. So the transitions and the setup of the poses, what makes the poses work, right? Otherwise, you're just flying around the mat. Just be here for a second. I know because we were here a few moments ago, this feels so much better than just going for it. Keep the structure of the legs. Drop the arms anywhere that works for you. So maybe you want to go hands to prayer, maybe arms alongside body. Tip forward and then slowly press off warrior three. Use blocks if you need. Don't open your hips. Eyes of the shoulders lift. Fanning and scissoring of your right thigh down. Yeah. Anywhere your arms can be works good. Stay with it. Finding balance, finding breath, finding stability. Now, take a pretty significant bend in your standing left leg. Like bend it almost in half. Good. Turn the right toes out at an angle. Take a very slow step back. Warrior one. Spin your right ribs forward. Feel what you're doing. Press strong through your feet and your legs and then energize the fingertips up. Hands to the floor. Vinyasa or bag it and just go to a down dog. You pick. Meet me in a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full exhale breath out. Look to the top of the mat. Step or float your feet there. Long spine, weight stays forward. Fold into yourself. Sit into your first chair. Stick your butt way back. Energize your arms up. Maybe look up a little with your eyes without your neck going back. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms from the top. Arms slide straight up. Sit heavy in your heels for chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, set it up, step or float through your version of the vinyasa. So I'm just taking push-ups today, pressing back to my plank, and then taking a down dog. I'm kind of taking out the up dog this morning. You add it if you want. Right foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Slow and steady here, get grounded. Hands come back down when you're ready. Add in your vinyasa. When you arrive in your down dog, the left foot lands, the back foot turns, warrior one, feel, and then bring it back down and move through your transition. Meet me in a downward facing dog. Opportunity to get still and feel. Press through your hands, look where you want to go, step or float to the top. Long spine when you arrive, fold into yourself, sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. I'm taking chair with my feet separated, but you can have them together as well. Press to stand, drag it to prayer. So just like this, arms slide up, sit deep chair, take your butt way back and get your weight into your heels. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare, step, step, or float, move through your vinyasa. When you get to down dog, step your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, rise on your breath, warrior one, back down we go through your transition. From your down dog, the left foot lands, the back foot turns, come on up. Back down we go through your vinyasa. Meet in a downward facing dog, be still. Spread the toes wide and bend behind your knees as much as you need. Good, look where you want to go, step or float to the top, get there light. Long spine, weight is forward, fold into yourself, sit deep into chair, weight moves into your heels. Press to stand, drag your hands to prayer. Let's do one more. Arms slide straight up towards the sky, go big. Sit heavy in your heels for chair pose. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, set it up, step, step, or float through the vinyasa. Up dog pulls you through, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one, keep moving. Back down we go, keep moving and breathing, add in or subtract what you need to make this work. When you arrive back in your down dog, let the left foot land, turn the back foot strong, warrior one. Sometimes you don't even realize how much you need these. Back down we go through a vinyasa. Up dog, pressing your hands, the tops of the feet, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. So just a little fun, guys. Walk your hands slowly back to your feet. Do it slow. You may need to bend your knees when you start noticing you get halfway there. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Exhale, hook your big toes, open your elbows and fold. Let your head go. Keep the weight shifting forward, long spine on the exhale breath. Slide your hands to your hips, get your elbows kind of like squeeze them together. Pull yourself all the way up. So you're at the back of your mat, just have a little bit of fun with play here. Stand on your left leg and hug your right knee in towards your navel, playing with some balance early in the practice here. So don't anticipate it's going to be wonderful and great. You could flop over. So hug the knee in like you did on your back. If you're capable of grabbing your big toe this morning, don't change the shape of the hips at all. Left hand comes to your hip. If you have it in you to extend your right leg forward at any angle, I'm showing that the leg is only halfway forward, so that is fine. Left arm can slide up towards the sky. This entire sequence can be taken with a bent right leg, such as I'm demonstrating here. Stand up really tall and find the expression of the posture from the left side of the body. The growth happens there. There needs to be a softening of your right shoulder. Pause. Kick through your right foot if you're going for the kick. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving and find the meditation. Keep the lift of the leg or have it bent in a 90-degree angle. You pick, switch the grip. Hand to the outside of the foot, right arm starts to wrap back. You can also have your hand at the flat part of your back. I will demonstrate what this looks like with a bent knee. This is a great way to take the pose. You can also float the leg and have the arms open. Another wonderful option. Find something that's working for you. Lift up out of your lower back so you're not dumping down. Look sideways or look back. Keep the lift of the leg, don't lose that shape. Begin to look forward. Arms sweep straight up towards the sky. You can bend your right leg in half and lift the thigh a little higher. Keep the arms moving up, lower the right foot down, sit into chair at the back of the mat. Once you sit into your deepest expression chair, drag your hands to prayer. Inhale that breath, hook your elbow twist towards the right. Pay attention to your alignment, your feet, your shins, and your knees all lining up. Watch that your left knee doesn't slide past your right. Rather than looking back, look sideways or look up. That's going to really help with taking the round out of that back. That looks great. Crown of the head moves forward, weight stays in your heels. Sit a little deeper, twist a little more. Pull around to chair, look forward, drop down 2 inches lower because you know you can, and then use that energy to shoot up to stand up, drag it to prayer. Good. Stand on the right leg now, hug your left knee in. Give it a squeeze. Just start with this because honestly, some days you get to this, and this is all you can do. So be okay with doing a little less and just feeling a little bit more concrete with it. Grab the big toe if you have it in you. This could be your next stop. Extend the leg forward and through at any amount. Right arm's welcome to reach up. So where can you soften and where can you explore the pose? Think about the length for the right side of the body. Meditate on one spot, breathe. Keep the leg moving forward and start to pick the grip and the twist. Maybe it's a bent leg, peeling that left arm open. Maybe it's floating the leg in space and floating the arms open. Look sideways, maybe look back, stand up a little taller and twist. Ground the right leg, begin to peel forward, arms up, leg up at any level that works for you. Leg can be bent or straight, you pick. Reach up towards the sky a little higher, lower the left foot down and sit deep into chair. Slide the hands to prayer, inhale that breath, hook the elbow twist to the left. Pay attention to the alignment, the feet, the shins, the knees all lining up, spine nice and long, and then get in there. Good. Keep the breath flowing. Looks good stuff. Look sideways, look out the window. Look up towards the sky, twist a little deeper. 2 inches deeper. Pull around to chair, look forward with your eyes. Now sit down a lot deeper here. Yes. Fold over legs, forward fold. Long spine, set it up right here. Creep slowly out to a down dog. Maybe separate your feet if they're not to about hips width distance. Take your time putting a lot of awareness towards the back side of the body. When you arrive in a downward facing dog, roll forward to plank position. Lower halfway to your push-up chaturanga. Drag yourself through a back bend if it's available. Nice work. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Now we come up into this first warrior and we feel here. Drop the arms down by the side body, clasp the hands behind the back. Inhale your breath, eyes of the shoulders lift. Exhale, come forward for humble warrior. 2 ways to go here, stomach resting on thigh, totally cool, gripping your hips and turning your left ribs forward or snuggle in so your right shoulder gets in a little bit more. That's going to create a little bit more of a hip opener. You pick. Let the head go either which way. Press strong through your feet and legs. Pay attention to the right hip, has a tendency to want to pop out. Hug it under. Stay with it. Strong through your legs right here. Keep the hands bound. If possible, start to lift just the torso up. Straighten the right leg on track. Pivot the right toes in. You're going to be in a wide straddle. Keep the hands bound if possible. Pick the distance before your feet. Inhale the breath. Lift the eyes of the shoulders. Bend definitely behind the knees. And then start to hinge forward. As you come down, hips lift nice and high, head drops nice and low, and clasp hands drop down towards the base of the head. If the bind is kind of aggravating you for some reason in the shoulders, just let it go. Don't use it then. Good work. Anytime you drop your head below the heart, it's an opportunity to kind of go upside down. So good. Release the bind, okay? Place the hands directly underneath the shoulders. Good. Come to the fingertips, halfway up, hands gathered to your hips. Come the rest of the way up. Open up your arms right here, nice and wide. From your right hip, pivot your right toes out. Turn your back toes on an angle. Set up your positioning for triangle that works for you. Some of us like a wide one, some of us like a tight one. Reach out and find Trikonasana triangle pose. Anywhere on that front leg that works for you, or using a block, okay? Side ribs nice and long, stack it up. Look sideways, look up. If you're dying to do something with your left arm, of course, you could wrap it behind you for a half bind. That may feel kind of nice. Slide your left hand to the inside of your right thigh, anywhere along that right thigh. Keep turning your bottom ribs. Keep looking over your left shoulder. Side ribs long. Breathe. You can keep the bind now. We're going to transition to half moon. So let's look down together. I definitely use a block in this. Reach out and float up into half moon. You could start with the half bind. Soften behind the right knee a little. Keep the right foot facing forward and the right hip gripping in. And then maybe you want to unravel your left arm if that feels good to you. Adding in a regular Ardha Chandrasana or maybe going for a Chopasana, which is the bind. You pick. Find some lightness and breathe. Soften a little behind the right knee. Find extension through side ribs. Flex your left toe strong. If you added the bind or anything fancy, come back to this traditional form. Light transition, triangle pose. See if you can step it back nice and slow. Pull up anywhere on the front of the right shin. Find that side ribs extension and look up. Eyes to the floor, circle both hands down. Slide into a plank and then bring your left hand forward about an inch and roll to Vashisthasana side plank. Any variation of this that works for you. You can stagger the feet, you can stack the feet. Yeah. You can drop your bottom knee. You can also take your top arm up and forward if you want to work a little bit more through the obliques. Try not to open your top hip though. You want your top hip over your bottom hip. Grip that bottom tricep underneath you and lift a little higher. Eyes go to the floor, plank position. Do this slow, guys. You're in plank position. Pause in plank. Pause in plank. Drop to your forearms for forearm plank. Do it slow. Draw the belly in. Bring more weight forward onto your tippy toes. Lead a little with your chest. Yes, hold here. Forearm plank. If it's too much, the modification would be just to drop the knees down. But forearm plank is a solid way to really work your upper body and your core. Stay for 3 more breaths. Connect, connect. Just connect to your abdominal wall. Connect your forearms to the mat. Bring more weight forward. Now fix your eyes and slowly bring one palm at a time back up to plank. And try and do it with as little movement as possible. Plank position. And then hips up and back, down dog. Good. From this down dog, step your left foot forward and through warrior one on the left side. So come up warrior one left side. Drop your arms down by side body. If you can remember your least favorite grip, go with the opposite behind your back. Inhale your breath. Eyes of the shoulders lift. Exhale, come into your humble. So stomach can simply just rest on the top of the thigh. Or you can snuggle in there. Keep taking your right ribs forward though, let the head go. Press strong to the blade of your back right foot and see if you can kind of lift up out of your inner arch. Grip your left hip underneath you. Stay with it. Keep strong legs, strong breath. Pull the torso up, nice and slow. Keep the hands bound if possible. Straighten the left leg on track. Pivot the left toes in. Find the position for your feet. Inhale your breath. Exhale, fold down the center. Keeping the hands bound if that feels good to you, or separating them and placing them directly in between your feet, like chaturanga, like arms. So we've done enough now that if you feel like you wanted to go upside down into a tripod headstand, this would be the spot to do it, just because we're halfway there. If that's not something that's in your practice, just stay as you are. Keep moving your weight forward, lifting your hips up nice and high, and keeping the connection to the ground in your breath. Couple more. So when you start to feel like, oh, I've had enough, that's when the pose you really need to stay for an extra breath or two. Release any binds that maybe you've acquired. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. Arrive to a long spine onto your fingertips. Bring your hands, gather them to your hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then come the rest of the way up. Open up your arms nice and wide. From your left hip, turn your left toes out on an angle and your right toes in a little. Reach out into your triangle pose. Set it up here. Trikonasana. Find your expression that works. Maybe taking that half bind if that feels good in your body. And just breathing. Side ribs nice and long. Focusing on inner and outer thigh strength, plugging down. Lots of attention to your left foot. Keep it forward. Look down, float up to your version of half move. And I'm going to start with the half bind and just kind of fumble through my balance this way, flexing the right foot nice and strong. A little bend behind the left knee is very helpful. And then now I found it, I'm going to unravel my right arm to the sky and find the true expression of the pose. Adding or subtracting, whatever you need here. Maybe a half bind if that feels good. Spreading open. Three more breaths. If you took anything fancy, just release into the traditional form of this, half moon. Transition slow, triangle pose, nice and easy. Good work. Pull up in the front of the shin, spread the collarbone, the chest. It always feels better the second go around. One more big breath in. Eyes meet the floor, take it to the floor to a plank, and then lean on your right hand for any version of Vashisthasana that feels good, that you know you can hold for a bunch of breaths. I like staggering the feet. Yeah, drop the bottom knee. Try not to open that top hip though. Stack it over the bottom and lift up nice and high. Eyes meet the floor. This time just plank, add your Vinyasa Chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look to the top of the mat, step or float your feet there this morning. Long spine on the inhale, exhale, fold, root to rise, come all the way up, drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Just separate your feet hips width if they're not already. Right leg's gonna stay. Left leg's just going to slide back about 3 feet. Any variation with your arms that work for you, you can crawl your hands up into reverse prayer, right? You can clasp your hands. I actually go opposite elbow. This feels really good for my collarbone and chest. I kind of grab and get the hold of my elbows. Inhale, lift the heart, a little bend behind the front knee. Exhale, fold for Parsva. So you have to decide if halfway down is a sweet spot for you, or if you're able to fold a little deeper without compromising the posture. Breathe your right hip up and back and dive over that front leg. Let the head go. And then it's kind of like a balancing act of trying to steer your hips and anchor your feet while holding the pose. Strong through your legs, start to come halfway up, pause. Create a little shelf for yourself. Wherever your arms are bound, just release them and bring your hands to your hips. Right hand will stay and left arm will slide forward. So there's lots of extension through this back leg, so much so that when you go to place it down for the twisting triangle, it just happens super natural. Right hand slides to the flat part of the back, look sideways, and then you peel open. So systematic steps to twisting, opening the hamstrings. I like the block on its highest setting. Feel like someone's gathering you by your hips and pulling them back. And breathing yourself open here as you twist. Twist a little deeper. So I'm totally fine with staying here for a few more breaths. If you're dying to go to revolved Ardha Chandrasana, excuse me, just bring your weight forward and lift your back leg up. It should be a very seamless transition. If you're not into it, just stay in twisting triangles, only 3 more breaths. Decide what feels good in your body this morning, just giving options. Try not to look back, look sideways, twist open. Eyes to the floor, both hands come down, step to the top of the mat, feet hips width distance. Long spine on the inhale, exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Feet stay hips width distance, slide your right leg back. Gather your arms into that reverse position. So remember what you did, if you can, good luck. Inhale the breath, gather the shoulders. Exhale, the second I did a fold forward, I automatically bend that front leg a little bit, and then I start to go. I go about halfway, then I steer my left hip back, because I know personally they get a little funky, and then I fold the rest of the way down. Yeah. And then breathe. So it's a fine line of finding the floor, finding your inner and outer thigh strength to really gather them together and get a little deeper in. A lot of good attention on your feet and legs. Start to come halfway up and pause. Wherever your hands are bound, just slide your hands to your hips. Pause here like you're creating a nice solid shelf. Left hand stays and right arm reaches. This is the extension here through that back leg. You come the rest of the way down, it's super natural. Left hand slides to the flat part of the back. You look sideways, you look up, and there you are, twisting triangle. Anchor through your feet and your legs and begin this action of opening. It's a great posture. Yeah, soften the bottom shoulder. Look sideways. There you go. Feel like someone's got you by those hips and they're twisting you open. If you feel interested in the next part of revolved Ardha, by all means go for it. The block would kind of just move forward enough that you can lift that back leg up. It's like a twisting warrior 3, or just stay here. Only a few more breaths. Eyes meet the floor, hands come down. This time just step to a dog, down dog. Clean it up here, roll forward to a plank. Lower halfway to a push-up chaturanga. Drag yourself through a back bend of choice. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Stick with the flow, you're almost there. Right foot lands, high lunge, crescent lunge. Bring it up. Good, drag your hands to prayer at heart, inhale that breath, lean out enough that you can hook the elbow and twist, or go to an easy twist if you're nursing an injury. Good, gather your right hip under you, so you gotta kind of hook it under, and then activate your back leg as you twist open here. Ideally, the crown of the head is lining up with your back left heel, so you wanna lean back a little bit into the pose, just a tiny bit. Looks good. Yeah, I like the hands in prayer too, Steph. I've never felt good opening my arms in this posture. It's always just been a very cranky situation. So it's just something that, it's there, it's there for you, but maybe it's not your number one choice. Stay with it. Keep twisting right here. Good. Eyes meet the floor, hands come down. So working your core right here. Press to your hands and make a little like a half pigeon with your right leg. There you go. So you're going to lower your right leg down without the shin touching the ground and kind of scoop out the belly and then pull it up and around the spine. So it's you're dropping the shin and letting it hover, the arm stays straight, and then you're scooping and pulling it up. One more time. You're lowering the shin without the shin actually touching. It's on an angle. You're scooping it up and hugging it in. And then you look forward and you land the leg down, half pigeon. So just a nice way to work the abdominal wall, that you're not just doing these crunches, fold. If someone tells you to do 100 sit-ups, that just sounds awful. But if you find a way to do 100 sit-ups throughout the course of the day that's working the core in an interesting way, you're much more willing to try. Let yourself just absorb into the posture here. Kick away all the thoughts. They're going to come. It's natural. Let the hip open. We haven't done much hip opening in this practice. It was much more hamstring. Downward facing dog, press back. Left foot lands, crescent lunge, bring it up. Hands come to prayer at heart, lean out, hook the elbow and twist. Go for it. Activate your back leg. Maybe an easy twist suits you better today. Yeah. Squeeze your outer left hip under you. Activate your back right leg. You can always take this with the knee down as well. There's like definitely a little leaning back going on. But you want your torso close to that front leg. There you go. Looks really good. It's like the Hail Mary pose, because you're at the end and you're like, okay, we got to just grin and bear it. Breathing and twisting right here. It says Utah is calling me. I don't know anyone from Utah. Keep twisting open. 2 more. Eyes meet the floor, then the hands, and pause. So activate your arms here. Use the strength of your back leg. Then create the shape of a half pigeon. Pause. You're going to lower your shin down without it touching the ground. Your arms are going to stay super straight. And then you're going to lift it up, scoop out the belly, and hug it in. You're going to lower the shin, let it hover. And you're going to lift it up and scoop it in. It's not a lot of movement. 2 more, lower the shin. Lift it up, scoop it in. 1 more, lower the shin, let it hover. Scoop it up, lift it in, look forward, and then land it down. And then melt. Melt your whole left hip to the floor and fold. Good. Use the strength of the body. Start to come up. Lean onto the left side. You all have blocks. Bring it with you. So first, you're going to set the block up this long direction on the top. You're going to take your feet into a Baddha Konasana with your feet up high. So find the position that works. Some of us like it a little further. Some of us like it a little closer. You could feed your hands underneath your ankles and grab your ankles. You can just choose to stay upright. This may feel better for some of you in your lower backs, and just work on your posture, draw your belly in and let your thighs drop. If you also want a little bit of a forward fold, then you can fold forward. You kind of just have to play with what feels good. And hey, listen, you may not feel a lot here. Something is still happening just being in this pose. This is an opening of your hip and groin. It does not have to be an intense situation. It could be passive. Pull yourself up. Remove the feet slowly from the block. Bring the block with you. Lay down. Set up for bridge with a block. So you're going to lift your hips up, anchor the backs of the arms, and slide the block underneath your lower back at this point of the practice. For some reason, you feel like this blast of energy, okay? And you know you want to go into a deeper back bend. This is your calling right here. I have found over the course nearly 3 years that 90% of my yoga population is looking for a passive restorative back bend. Every now and again, someone will surprise me and blast up into a full wheel. So if that's you, I am not stopping you. Take the palms, flip them, bring the chin to the chest, and take it to your full deal. If not, hang out and chill. Find a block and a setting underneath your sacrum. Yeah, Steph's got a blast of energy. She just needs to walk her feet in a little closer, and her knees will wrap down and under. And there you go, full wheel. And you're like, and then that blast is over and I lower down. Everybody else just stay. If you're in this restorative version of bridge, extend the legs maybe up towards the sky. That's also optional. Keep the hands clasped around the block. Feel the lift of the legs directly over your hips. There's a little scooping up of your shoulders. You got it. Bend the knees slowly in half. In your own time, lower the feet to the floor. Lift the hips up when you get your feet down and remove the block. Lower the tailbone. Take the feet the width of the mat and the knees together. It's like we started the practice like a little mountain pose. Good. And just, if you have the space to do it, just windshield washer your knees to the right. Yeah, and your upper body a little to the left. There you go. It's just like a little supine twist. And then pull it to center and just windshield washer your knees the opposite direction. It's like a little spine twist. Yeah. And then back up to center. And then when your feet hit the floor, you're just going to reach down and grab the outer arches of your feet, the outer blades of your feet, and pull straight down for happy baby. So a day without warrior 2, it was a good day. It was a great day. Yeah, sometimes just holding that warrior 2 is enough to just kind of set you off. Right. So enjoying the fact that we were a little bit more forward hips today. Hug the knees in one last time. And then the master pose, Shavasana. Find rest. Find some rest. It's only 2 minutes. The next 2 minutes, make yourself comfortable and just close your eyes and let go.
Start to come back, maybe a little wiggle of the fingers and the toes. Stretch your arms up over the top of the head. Give yourself a nice stretch from fingertips to toes. Hug your knees in towards your chest, squeeze tight. And rock yourself up to a seated position. Just sit up nice and tall when you're ready. If you're ready, you could stay down as well. Let the shoulders slide down the back and just feel for a second. It's always an opportunity to reset the practice. Sometimes you take a little more, sometimes you give a little more. Right now, we should feel pretty good. Bring the hands to prayer, bow your head, have some gratitude. Not a bad thing to have. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Have a great day. It looks beautiful out. See you tomorrow if you're interested in practicing.